Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Geography with Joy. This is Subhalakshmi and we are discussing about the transport system in India. Friends, today we are going to learn something very interesting about Indian Railways. You will get to know many interesting things and for sure you are going to enjoy my video too. If you like, please don't forget to subscribe my channel and like and share my video. It will help me to serve you better. Then, without much delay, let's start the discussion. Topic to be discussed today is on rail transport, and the outline of the topic is introduction to the topic, railway zones and their headquarters, track systems which include broad gauge, meter gauge and narrow gauge system. Amazing facts related to the Indian Railways, METRE rails and its progress, distributional pattern of Indian Railways, importance of railways and disadvantages of railways as well. Now, let's start the discussion in detail. Rail transport. Rail transport is also known as train transport. It is a means of transport where passengers and goods are transferred on wheeled vehicles running on tracks, that is, on rails or railroads. Usually, trains are powered by an engine locomotive running on electricity or on diesel. In contrast to road transport, where vehicles run on a prepared flat surface, rail vehicles are directionally guided by the tracks on which they run. It is one of the most important, commonly used, and very cost-effective modes of transport over long as well as short distances. The Indian railway system is the lifeline of the country's inland transport. It serves the needs of many by carrying both passengers and freight. It brings economic prosperity to the areas through which they pass and promotes national integration. The history of Indian Railways dates back to over 160 years ago. On 16th of April 1853, the first passenger train ran between Boribandar, then Bombay, and Thane, a distance of 34 km. The 14-carriage train was hauled by 3 steam locomotives, the Sahib, Sindh, and Sultan. The train carried 400 people. The passenger line was built and operated by the Great Indian Peninsular Railway. It was built in 1676 mm, 5 feet 6 inches broad gauge, which became the country's standard for railways. This station was rebuilt as Victoria Terminus later in 1888, named after Queen Victoria. Since then, Indian Railways have grown into a vast network. By 1947, the year of India's independence, there were 42 rail systems. In 1951, the systems were nationalized as one unit, becoming one of the largest networks in the world. Indian Railways operate both long-distance and suburban rail systems. Indian Railways is one of the largest and busiest rail networks in the world. Its network is spread over 1,20,000 23,542 km of track over a route length of 67,368 km with 13,523 passenger trains and 9,146 freight trains plying 23 million travelers and 3 million tons of freight daily from 7,349 stations. India's railway network is recognized as one of the largest railway systems in the world under single management. The full track length of Indian railways can circle the equator 1.5 times. The railway network is also ideal for long-distance travel and movement of bulk commodities apart from being an energy-efficient and economic mode of conveyance and transport. Indian Railways is the preferred carrier of automobiles in the country. It is the 8th largest employer with more than 1.227 million employees as of March 2019. Indian Railways carry a huge variety of goods ranging from mineral ores, fertilizers, petrochemicals, agricultural produce to iron and steel. Ports and major urban areas have their own freight lines. Thus, railways help in accelerating the development of industry and agriculture. The growth of Indian Railways in the past 150 years has been phenomenal. Its huge size has put pressure on the centralized management system. To ease the pressure on the management, the railway system has been divided into 17 zones. These divisions are the basic operating units. In the map, you can see the different zones of railway system showing in different parts of the country. The red dots are showing the headquarters of different zones. Now, let's find out the names of different zones along with their headquarters. And here is the list. Let's read out. First, the railway zone, then the headquarters. Northern Railway, Delhi. Northeast Frontier Railway, Guwahati. Eastern Railway, Kolkata. Southeastern Railway, Kolkata. South Central Railway, Secunderabad. Southern Railway, Chennai. Central Railway, Mumbai. Western Railway, Mumbai. Southwestern Railway, Hubballi. Northwestern Railway, Jaipur. West Central Railway, Jabalpur. North Central Railway, Allahabad. Southeast Central Railway, Bilaspur. East Coast Railway, Bhubaneswar. East Central Railway, Hajipur, Danapur. Konkan Railway, Navi Mumbai, and Kolkata Metro Railway, Kolkata. Track system. Based on the width of the track, Indian Railways are divided into 3 categories. They are broad gauge, meter gauge, and narrow gauge. These gauges were designed during the colonial period, keeping in mind the volume of traffic and movement of goods in different areas of the country. Now, let's learn about these track systems in detail. Broad gauge. In broad gauge, the distance between 2 rails is 1.676 meter. In India, almost all the main routes are broad-gauged. Broad-gauge system links major ports of India with the interior towns and industrial centers and handles 85% of the total goods traffic in terms of tons kilometer. It is also called as India gauge. Look at the picture. It is a broad gauge line. It is preferred to other gauges as it gives better stability to the train. The wheel diameter is usually about 0.75 times the gauge weight, and thus the speed of a train is almost proportional to the gauge. If higher speeds are to be attained, the broad gauge track is preferred to the meter gauge or narrow gauge track. Now, let's learn about some amazing facts about Indian railways. Do you know which one is the fastest train in India at present? The fastest train at present is the Vande Bharat or Train 18 with an operational speed of up to 180 km per hour, though the fastest service train is Gatiman Express with an operational speed of 160 km per hour and average speed of 113 km per hour on the Delhi-Agra section, since the routes used by Train 18 are capped at 130 km per hour for safety reasons. The picture shown here is the train Vande Bharat or Train 18. Then, which one is the slowest train? The Nilgiri Express, with an average speed of 10 km per hour, has the distinction of being India's slowest train. We will discuss about this train in our meter gauge section. Coming to the longest train journey route, topping the list is the Vivek Express that operates on a weekly basis from Dibrugarh to Kanyakumari. This journey is not just the longest in India, but in the entire subcontinent and 24th in the world in terms of distance and time. The shortest train journey route, with just 3 bogies and covering 13.68 km at a sluggish pace of 30 km per hour, the Kanch 8 shuttle in Bundelkhand, Uttar Pradesh, is the shortest rail service route in the country. It covers the distance in 35 minutes and the fare is just ₹5. And this is the Kanch 8 shuttle in Bundelkhand. The longest station name in India. Can you pronounce? It's Venkata Narasimharaju Vairi Petta in Andhra Pradesh and at the Tamil Nadu border. It is the station with the longest name with 29 letters. Locals usually add the prefix Sri before the name, making it longer by 3 letters. Then, what is the shortest station name in India? Eve railway station in Orissa has the distinction of having the shortest name of all the stations in the entire Indian Railways network. The famous station derives its name from the Eve River, which is a tributary of river Mahanadi. Can you tell me the name of India's oldest working locomotive? It's Fairy Queen. The famous Fairy Queen is the world's oldest working locomotive that is still in use. Manufactured way back in 1855, the Fairy Queen was listed in a Guinness World Book of Records as the world's oldest steam locomotive in regular service. The Fairy Queen was interestingly given heritage status in 1972 by the Indian government, giving it the status of a national treasure. The first electric train in India. The first electric train in India ran on February 3rd in 1925 between Bombay Victoria Terminal and Kurla Harbour. Later, the electric line was extended to Nasik's Igatpuri district and then to Pune. Railway museums in India. India is home to 8 railway museums in Delhi, Pune, Kanpur, Mysore, Kolkata, Chennai, Ghum, and Tiruchirappalli. The National Railway Museum in Delhi is the most visited museum in India, with millions of tourists flocking to witness the rich heritage that the museum offers. The Fairy Queen, the world's oldest working locomotive, is one of the main tourist attractions at the museum. This museum is also the largest rail museum in Asia. This picture shows 2 attraction points of National Railway Museum in Delhi. And this is Bholu, the guard elephant, the adorable Indian Railways mascot. Bholu, the guard elephant, is the mascot of the Indian Railways. Bholu was designed by the National Institute of Design in 2002 in honor of the 150th anniversary of the Indian Railways. Bholu is seen holding a signal lamp with a green light in it, which symbolizes movement, assurance to trains and passengers to go ahead without fear. Can you tell me the name of the most expensive luxury train in India? It's Maharaja Express. Look at this train. This is Maharaja Express, the most expensive luxury train in India and is also among the most expensive in Asia. Over a course of 8 days, the Maharaja Express takes its guests over some of the most prominent tourist destinations in India, including the Taj Mahal, the Khajuraho temples, Ranthambore, Fatehpur Sikri, and the bathing ghats of Varanasi. Pricing starts at $800 for a deluxe cabin. The most expensive ticket of the presidential suite sets you back a whopping $2,500. This is the largest railway junction in India, the Mathura Junction. It has as many as 7 routes emerging from this station. Mathura Junction also has 10 platforms with connectivity to all major cities of India. This is the longest railway platform in India as well as in the world. The platform at Gorakhpur railway station in Uttar Pradesh is the world's longest station, measuring a whopping 1,366 meters. The record was previously held by the platform at Kharagpur station in West Bengal at 1,072 meters. The longest railway bridge in India. Look at this picture. Have you seen this bridge? It is Vembanad Rail Bridge in Kerala. Vembanad Rail Bridge is a rail connecting Idapalli and Valappadam in Kochi, Kerala. With a total length of 4,620 meters, It is the longest railway bridge in India. The railway line is dedicated solely for freight trains. The Vembanad Rail Bridge is the most beautiful bridge in Kerala. This bridge lets only 15 trains to pass each day. Vembanad Lake is the longest lake in India and the largest lake of Kerala, and is also ranked as one of the largest Indian lakes that is famous as the host of the traditional sports Nehru Trophy snake boat race. The longest rail-cum-road bridge in India. It's Bogibeel Bridge in Assam. It is a combined road and rail bridge over the Brahmaputra River between Dhemaji and Dibrugarh districts in Assam. Bogibeel River Bridge is the longest rail-cum-road bridge in India, measuring 4.94 km. As it is situated in an earthquake-prone area, it is India's first bridge to have fully welded steel concrete support beams that can withstand earthquakes of magnitudes up to 7 on the Richter scale. It is Asia's second longest rail-cum-road bridge and has a serviceable period of around 120 years. Jhajjar Bridge. It is the country's longest steel girder bridge that is built at a height of 85 meters. Look at this bridge. What an engineering work! It is on Udhampur-Katra railway line. The 25-kilometer long train service to Katra from Udhampur is an important section of the railway line connecting Vaishno Devi Shrine and the Kashmir Valley to the rest of the country. This railway line has 7 tunnels, 29 minor and 9 major bridges. The train passes through 3.1 kilometer long tunnel said to be India's longest. Another important broad gauge line, Konkan Railway Line. Broad gauge railway line on the west coastal lowland, known as the Konkan Railway Line, is an engineering marvel of the Indian Railways. It is 760 km long rail route connecting Roha in Maharashtra to Mangalore in Karnataka. It crosses 146 rivers, streams, nearly 2000 bridges and 91 tunnels. It also passes through 6.5 km long tunnel, which is Asia's largest tunnel. The states of Maharashtra, Karnataka and Goa are partners in this project. So far, shown all the informations are related to broad gauge. Now coming to meter gauge. In meter gauge, the distance between two rails is 1 meter. As of 31st March 2019, its total length was 2,839 km, which constitutes 4.21% of total route network. It is mainly used in northern Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Assam, and parts of western Rajasthan, Gujarat, Maharashtra, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. This is Nilgiri Express, running on Nilgiri Mountain Railway Line. It was built by the Britishers in 1908. The railway is operated by the Southern Railway and is the only rack railway in India. The railway relies on its fleet of steam locomotives. This quaint and charming toy train was declared as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 2005. It is the slowest train in India, running at a speed of 10 km per hour, which is roughly 16 times slower than the fastest train in India. The train covers 46 km in about 5 hours, which is due to the train operating in a hilly area. The scenic view offered makes up for the speed of the train. But the meter gauge lines have some disadvantages. Let's find out. Disadvantages of meter gauge. The train ride on these tracks is bumpy and insecure. The change of gauge involves expenses. With an aim to enhance passengers' convenience and commercial viability of Indian Railways, the Narendra Modi government has ordered to convert all the meter gauge tracks in the country into broad gauge phase-wise. But the Railways has decided to preserve 5 of its meter gauge lines across the country and run them as heritage lines. The lines to be preserved include sections in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Assam, Uttar Pradesh and Gujarat. Coming to narrow gauge, this rail is of two types. One is 0.762 meter and other is 0.61 meter broad. As of 31st March 2019, its total length was 1,685 km, which is considered to be 2.5% of total route network. This type is restricted to hilly areas only. Important narrow gauge railways are the toy train between Siliguri and Darjeeling and train between Kalka and Shimla. Look at this train. This is Shakuntala Rail. Shakuntala Railways, built during the British Raj, is a 190 km long narrow gauge railway line between Yavatmal and Murtijapur. During the colonial era, trains on this track were run by Great Indian Peninsular Railway, which operated across central India. It is the last piece of colonial railway legacy. Shakuntala Railways still use narrow gauge lines and makes just one return journey every day. At present, the train takes around 20 hours to cover the 190 km distance between Yavatmal and Achalapur in Amaravati district. The train is lifeline to poor people who travel between these two villages in Maharashtra. The Indian Railways has undergone considerable improvement over the years. Diesel and electric engines replaced the steam engines to avoid environmental pollution. It has also increased the speed and haulage capacity of the service. At present, industries which are producing diesel engines are Diesel Locomotive Works in Varanasi in Uttar Pradesh, Chittaranjan Locomotive Works in West Bengal and Locomotive Works in Jamshedpur in Jharkhand. Coming to Metro Rail. Metro Rail has revolutionized the urban transport system in India. It is becoming the most popular means of mass rapid transit in India with an operational network of over 660 km across 12 cities. The first metro in the country started operations all the way back in 1984 in Kolkata. It is also the only metro rail network that is controlled by the Indian Railways. All others are operated by autonomous local authorities. The second oldest after Kolkata Metro is Delhi Metro, which makes the largest and busiest network of all. Following the success of Delhi Metro, other cities in India also started exploring the option to implement metro projects. With this idea, more than 1 trillion Indian rupees was invested in metro projects in the year 2018 and 19. This is the Delhi Metro line, the largest and the busiest metro network of all. The cities that are currently having metro connectivity in India are Kolkata, Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, Hyderabad, Chennai, Kochi, Jaipur, Lucknow, Noida, Gurgaon and Nagpur. Besides, as many as 15 other cities in India have over 500 km of metro lines under different stages of implementation. These include Ahmedabad, Pune, Indore, Bhopal, Varanasi, Kozhikode, Vijayawada, Meerut, Vishakhapatnam, Kanpur, Agra, Coimbatore, Patna, Navi Mumbai and Guwahati. Distributional pattern of railway network. Look at the map. It is showing the tracks of Indian Railways. The distributional pattern of railway network is closely influenced by the terrain, topography, density of population, minerals, fertility of land, and arid and semi-arid climatic conditions. Areas around towns, raw material producing areas, and of plantations and other commercial crops, hill stations, and cantonment towns were well connected by railways from the British colonial era. These were mostly developed for the exploitation of resources. After the independence of the country, railway routes have been extended to other areas too. The most significant development has been the development of Konkan railways along the western coast, providing a direct link between Mumbai and Mangaluru. Railway continues to remain the main means of transport for the masses. Railway network is relatively less dense in the hill states, northeastern states, central parts of India and Rajasthan. Now let's talk about the importance of railways. Railways serve as a principal mode of transport for both freight and passengers. It serves as the cheapest mode of transport for bulky products over long distances. For example, coal, iron ore, petrol, and other raw materials. It plays an important role in the process of economic development and urbanization. Railways help in agricultural development. It helps in transporting agricultural commodities to distant places. Similarly, other raw materials, fertilizers, etc. are also sent by railways. Railways have brought the villages closer to the cities and have helped to transfer new ideas and innovations to the rural areas. It helps reducing sufferings during natural calamities. It acts as an integrating force, knitting the whole country into one whole with its huge network running throughout the country. Railways help in administration of the country. It also helps in safeguarding its sovereignty and integrity. It helps in easy movement of heavy defense equipment, troops, police and military within the country. Railways provide comfortable journey as the trains have enough space to stretch legs and move in the corridors. At night, one can sleep comfortably on the berths provided in the trains. Rail travel is safer and comfortable for families with babies and elders. It forms a major employment sector as lakhs of people are dependent on railways for their livelihood. In the post-independence period, railways have helped in setting up of many industries in areas like Bhilai, Durgapur, Bokaro and Rourkela. Local trains are becoming increasingly important in metro cities. Mumbai has the best network of electrical suburban trains, which has been the best mode of transport for the past many decades. Superfast trains like Rajdhani Express and Shatabdi Express have been introduced to facilitate the fast movement of passengers. Computerization in the field of ticketing has brought tremendous relief to the passengers traveling by trains. Now one can book the tickets 3 months in advance online through internet instead of wasting hours standing in long queues. Now have a look at the disadvantages as well. Disadvantages of railways. Rail transport lacks flexibility of routes. Train tracks cannot be laid in every region of the country like in the hilly areas or remote forested areas. Train travel can be very long and tedious, especially when compared to air travel. The trains which run on coal produce lot of air and noise pollution. Train cannot cross the oceans. They are limited to land travel and cannot haul products from one continent to another. Railways face a tough competition with the road transport as road can deliver the goods at the doorsteps. Indian Railway is facing tremendous pressure of traffic with increasing population, urbanization and industrialization. Frequent accidents due to human errors, terrorist attacks and faulty track repairs, loot and robbery incidents have made the rail journey unsafe. Changing policies and delay in implementing the decisions taken by the central government affect the efficient running of the railways. Whatever may be the disadvantages, the importance of railways cannot be denied. Hence, the Government of India has focused on investing in railway infrastructure by making investor-friendly policies. It has moved quickly to enable foreign direct investment in railways to improve infrastructure for freight and high-speed trains. At present, several domestic and foreign companies are also looking to invest in Indian rail projects. Friends, that's all for today. I hope you have understood the topic and enjoyed my video too. How did you feel? Please write in the comment box. In my next video, we will discuss about air transport in India. Stay connected. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and like and share my video. Thanks for watching. See you again. Till then, take care and have a nice day.